Welcome to all inspiring chefs, cooks, and everything in between alike. This is Griever, your guys' host as always. This is my bar, the place I'm, always at, and this is Shokugeki no Soma, Chapter 285, and let's get cooking because I'm actually impressed with this chapter. I think after making that video, that hour-long video about the problems with this arc and why I'm unhappy and why a lot of other fans are unhappy with it, but talking about the structure and such, and getting it all out and being disappointed with it, it's finally time to just, relax. Try to just enjoy the chapter for what it is and not think about all the things wrong with it, but try to look at everything that went right. And in this particular chapter, I didn't see anything wrong. I saw a very classic Shokugeki no Soma style. I did. I really enjoyed this chapter. As I said before, I enjoyed the character of the old man being introduced. A retired noir chef. That was really cool. And his personality and everything is quite neat. It's overshadowed by the issues. But in this particular chapter where he's more the focus, it's definitely a cut above the last two chapters. Because what we get here is that they talk about a little bit about his backstory. Yes, he was in the war and stuff, but we find out that he's been serving, and the names don't really, I doubt they're going to matter. But suffice it to say, a very big Yakuza or crime boss family. And he's served previous generations and the generation before that and all these things. And he's been serving that on such a grand scale level for decades. And I guess it comes to light that he can no longer, he's not able to really do that so much anymore. So that it's really interesting to get that level from him. And we see that he's got a very bad taste in his mouth over light chefs, thinking they're not worth anything, and these mediocre lukewarm dishes and all that stuff. This is where Soma comes up to him and basically says, "Hey, old man, I dare you to say that again." And they're like, and the guards around him are like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? And Soma's just like, yeah, wait a minute. Before you judge all our dishes, like, hold off. You haven't judged everybody yet. Don't just count us all out just because you've had a couple you didn't like. Like, they just don't get the point of it. And as we know, Soma's very pissed off about the theme being Last Supper for this guy. And even though it's a little turned on its head somewhat, I kind of like where it goes. Not so much someone being pissed about the Last Supper thing, but more so where it goes for the old man. We actually get some characterization with this old man in just such a short span of time, and I really enjoy it. Because what Soma does is says, all right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to start cooking something, and then they basically tell him, like yell at him and say, hey, you shouldn't do that. You know, you piss off the judge. What if he changes his judgment, like regardless what you come out with? And he just turns around and goes, nah, that old man won't do that. I'm like, oh, whoa. And I knew right away. I was like, all right, this is some more Soma thing. Because notice the old man, he shut up. He didn't say anything to that remark. And he just, all right, he was kind of brooding about it. But he didn't say anything. And the reason being, I know we find that out in this chapter and stuff, so it's not like a big reveal or something, or I'm coming up with a crazy theory, but I really like that, because I was like, that's old school Soma. That's Soma. The thing that's been partially lacking in Soma's character recently is him being able to read people through cooking, through how they enjoy things, through their actions. He's able to read people and how they feel, in a sense. It's very similar. An ability, a lot of shonen heroes tend to have it, but more importantly, it's very samurai. It's very Himura Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin manga, where he's able to read the emotions during battle, and that gives him that split-second edge sort of idea. In the same way, he's a master of reading people through watching them act and watching them cook and such, and how they handle their customers, their cooking, everything. Their mannerisms, he realizes that. And that's something that I feel has been lacking with Soma for quite a long time. It's something that was prevalent up until this arc, and now seems to be gone. But I feel like we're getting the return of this. Because it's true. The old man, while, shitting on everybody, he's not going to falsely accuse someone of a judging. He could be the most hated person in the world, but he loves cooking, and someone sees that. This is a dude who has dedicated his life to his craft. He loves being in the kitchen. He loves cooking. He loves tasting new flavors. He loves it all. And the fact of the matter is, Soma sees this instantly. Like, it's no big deal. And I think that's very significant because, as I said once again, the third, fourth time I'm going to say it, this is back to a big trait of Soma's character, and part of the reason we actually enjoy him and like him as a character. He doesn't need to be the best in the world right now, but he can still be the most insightful. And he tends to almost always be, and he plays it off. The comedic aspect, the dumbfoundery, the la-di-da-di-da, the brazen attitude, it's not necessarily for show, but it's always been countered with that, that gleam in his eye, as everyone thinks they're not looking at him while he actually contemplates something seriously. That intentedness, So what ends up happening is it's a very quick cooking method, but he cooks monaka or monaka. I'm not 100% sure how to say it. It seems to be some pie tea treat sort of idea. It's two basically cupcake saucer things of dough. They're not cupcakes necessarily, but it's the rippled edges made of some type of pastry dough, and they've been smushed together or cooked together, and there's clearly a filling inside sort of idea. And it's very, very simple. Just two of them on a plate. Very, very simple. And though I don't know too much about this dish, another big thing that we haven't really seen other than the beach episode is explanation. We're getting some explanation of the cooking, and I'm really, really happy to see that. That's been somewhat lacking. I won't say it's gone, but it's been somewhat lacking. The fun explanation of, well, I added salt and pepper and a chili sauce to this mixture, boiling it down to do this, this, and this. Those are some of the things that I really always loved about reading Food Wars, was I got to learn a little bit about cooking. Went, I didn't think, you could take that out if you just added some salt to the water. You could do this, this, and this. They're very simple tricks to a master of the kitchen, but for someone like me who just dabbles in kitchen for my own pleasure, for my own cooking, and for my own skill level, I like to learn things through watching TV, reading manga, reading cookbooks, checking things out online. Like this is how you learn, and you might as well try it, because there are cookbooks. There is a cookbook related to all the recipes they do make in this series, and apparently it's not half bad. There is an actual chef who gives them the information before they write these things. So, I mean, whether they're crazy strip yourself clothing recipes or not is one thing, but I really like that they brought that back because I learned a lot about this dish. And we see, of course, the old man is flabbergasted. He bulks up like his gourmet cells have activated Toriko level. And I'm sitting there like, okay, all right, this is pretty cool. I'm liking this chapter. At first, I went in there, head held high, and I said, I'm going to try my best to enjoy it, and I didn't find it difficult. I really enjoyed this chapter. Now, as always, when I get excited, I do get a little off topic, so I'm sorry about that, guys. Suffice to say, the rest of the chapter goes, of course, the old man bulks up. He's happy to hear about the flavors, as I already said. They explain the cooking, which is something that I feel like needs to happen more. Like, you couldn't have done that. What about the ingredients? It's like, well, you can use this and this to make this type of dough, and it'll work out just fine. And he apparently used type of liver and stuff. Now, I'm not a huge fan of eating liver, but nonetheless, I could probably substitute that with something. So this is something interesting I would like to try. Now, he comes out and says that this is one of his special menu items, number 44 or something along those lines. And it's simply otashi, something like that. Apparently, according to the noir chef who was watching Soma, intrigued by him, thought, isn't that supposed to be like, basically it's an appetizer. Like when you go to a pub, depending on where you go, Canada, America, Mexico, England, Japan, different places, you'll always be served different things on the counter as a very standard appetizer that is on every bar's menu, so to speak. And apparently this one is. It's a very standard appetizer, but of course this is the twist. This is the special version for regulars only, as Soma puts it. This is something that he serves in his diner as an appetizer. And here's where I like, once again, the Last Supper thing. Okay, I'm a little weary of how he put it and such, but I love the complexity, not the complexity, but almost, yeah, let's go with complexity. The complexity of how he took the situation, how he read the old man so well. He went, Last Supper, don't give me that shit. I understand we all have to die someday and stuff, but right now, I understand you can't cook anymore, and you probably hate that, but you still have these. You still have teeth. So you can still taste new flavors. You can still instruct new chefs, a new generation, to make different flavors that you have never tried before. The cooking is a vast, limitless wasteland of potential, and you're quitting before you've even started, sort of idea. Now, this takes a very dark turn. It takes an enlightened turn and a dark turn. So we see that the old man, after passing Soma, we see that he had another revolver. Now, this is a little on the side of ridiculous, but he did have another revolver. And he wasn't going to use it to shoot the students. That's something that was getting very confused in the manga chapter, in the chapter. This was getting very confused, is that a lot of people in the comments in the forums thought, wait, if you fail, he's going to shoot Soma? No, guys, if you just read last chapter and this chapter again, please. He failed plenty of people. Nobody got shot. Okay? Nobody got shot. The revolver was for himself. It was loaded with real bullets, as the noir chef points out. And the old man says, after blue was going to be my final hurrah, then I was going to commit suicide because I've lost the one thing left to me. I don't see a point in living. So that took a very dark turn, and I think that was necessary. I like that we got so much information about this guy crammed in. Probably never see him again, but I hold out that I hope we do. I think that Soma has really opened this guy. He hasn't changed his ways. He's still a noir chef, and he's still on the worst side of the law in that respect. But I think we could do something with this old man one more time. I think there's potential for the old man to come back into the story for one little thing, you know? Maybe if Soma gets down on his luck and can't win, dark hole, something like that, and then all his old masters, his father comes in, Shinomiya comes in, the old man, people that are master-level chefs that have kind of resonated, Soma has resonated with them, come to kind of give him aid and like, we're going to put you through a hellish, you know, Anna from Shaman King level training course, and you're going to be you're going to be top dog. So something like that. I don't hold my breath for something like that happening, but I just hope that this isn't the last we saw of this old man, because characterization was great, and it had that dark tone. I really enjoyed that. The last part, of course, I mean, he passes, and we see, I don't care about the Shogun hiding behind the blinds. I really don't care. I don't care who it is anymore. I really don't. I don't think it's a character that has any relevance, and if it is, it's like, oh, it was Soma's mother the whole time. I'm like, well, the author came out and said Soma's mother's dead, so that would be a really weird retcon, and I don't, like, you know, and is it supposed to be like Senzanaman or someone? Like, I don't think it's someone, we might have heard them by name, but it wouldn't be relevant. Like, if we knew who they were right now, it won't change who they are when we get the reveal, is I guess my point. So that's not what's intriguing to me. What was intriguing to me was the old man, his backstory, and the fact that Soma served him an appetizer. And the best part about that, the best part about this chapter was when he served him that, and the old man ate it, and he was all full of energy again, and he was like, yeah, life is worth living. All right, I'm super hungry. This has just whet my appetite. Now I'm ready for more. And he's like, where's the main dish? So it's like, see, this wasn't your last supper. Last supper, don't give me that shit. Don't give me the thing. This is your first dish. I understand that people have to die. Everybody does. But you know very well that this isn't it. So Soma had an idea. Soma knew that Buddy wasn't on death's door necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, the noir points out that he doesn't think that Soma knows that he had the gun. And maybe Soma didn't, but I think Soma knew about the suicide idea. Or it was hinted at to him in some way. Because that's why he said, you know, I gave you the first dish. one day you need to come and eat the rest of my course, sort of idea. Like a Toriko full course style sort of idea. It's like when you finally think that, dang, this is my last day, I think I'm going to die of natural causes, so to speak. Come to my place. I'll cook you something amazing to follow this up. And it's just like, this is Shokugeki no Soma, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I read this series for. This is what I'm happy for. Regardless of all the problems with the plot and current arc, none of those problems were in this chapter. Every page and panel in this chapter was good. I don't see fault. I see good artwork. I see good pacing. I see a good characterization. I see some dark tones, which is good because this whole arc has been based on the fact that it's going to be darker. And I don't know, I feel like I'm reinvigorated to enjoy this series. Now, I can't get too hyped. And the reason I can't get too hyped is because I feel like the next chapter will be too disappointing if I let myself think we're finally on the better track. Not letting myself think that. I'm just going to sit back, enjoy this chapter, and say that this week's chapter was great. This week's chapter was a great Shokugeki no Soma chapter. And if next week is great too, all right, maybe we've started doing something and such. But once again, I'm just going to enjoy this chapter, and I will never say that this chapter was bad, because there was nothing wrong with it. It was great. It was a longer chapter, but I feel like those extra couple of pages were necessary to make this chapter. They didn't overtop, you know what? They didn't stick to anything too far. Everything was properly paced. Everything felt like it was moving forward. I don't know, guys. That's the end of my review and the end of the chapter. What did you guys all think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, it's always very much appreciated. I'm excited again. As you guys can clearly tell, this is much different than my previous couple of reviews. I'm really happy about this chapter, and I hope the next couple weeks have this same level of old classic Shokugeki no Soma feel to it, because this chapter felt like that. What did you guys think? As I said before, drink responsibly. See you back here next time. This has been Griever. Keep cooking. Bye-bye.